You have an idea, they read the brief out, I send them a script, they don't like the script. I send them another script, they don't like the script. Then I finally tell them, listen, you want to sell a product, nah? Can we just read your brief? And then I'll just say fucking buy it. And people will buy it if they want to. Because I can do all the creativity in the world. If they don't want to buy it, they will still not buy it.
A good way to work around that is instead of thinking of content piece to fit the brand, make a compelling content piece and then seamlessly fit the brand if you have to.
You know, guys, I am so excited. I've chatted with the both of you individually in the past, and I'm really excited to kind of get in on this conversation where we're going to try over the next hour to dissect the business of comedy with the two of you. And today we also have a virtual live audience. That sounds like such an oxymoron, but we'll take what we can get. You know, the two of you have mined a subculture for laughs so successfully. Danish, for you, it's the Bangalore vibe, and Kusha, for you, the Delhi. How did you guys and when did you guys realize that you're onto something really good and this could become a career?
I'll let Kusha answer the question first.
I am just going to say something at the outset that I had seen Danish perform sometime 2 years ago, and when I watched him perform, and coincidentally it was my husband's company's event. So when I saw him perform there, I was like, what are we even doing on video online? This is insane. You know, this live show was absolutely insane. And I happened to meet him after that. And he said something really interesting to me, which I always keep very close to my heart. And I just give this throwaway quote in every possible interview when they speak to me. And I said, you know, Danish once told me, it's become like that thing in my life. So he said this very beautiful thing that, you know, your comedy is something that bridges the gap between generations, which means a mother and her daughter can laugh at the same joke at the same time. And I think it was such a deep insight into the kind of content I think we both make. But I did not have that kind of clarity on my content that time. It came from Danish. And then after I was like, oh, it makes a lot of sense. So I think one of the reasons is why it has really been able to bridge that generational gap. And when you look at certain Delhi nuances and Delhi things, you realize that it's something that people share across generations and across class and across different parts of the city. So for me, I feel like the first taste of, it's become really big was when people just downloaded the video and started sending it on WhatsApp. And my mom received it from some WhatsApp group, kitty group of hers. And she's like, and mom was like, I just received a video of yours on my WhatsApp. And I was like, okay, that seems like I might have done something right. So yeah, that was one of the first.
That's a sign. That's a sign for sure. When it comes back to you on WhatsApp, you know you've done something right. Danish, what about you? And I love, when I chatted with Niharika as well, on the onset, she wanted to throw a Danish quote. So you've clearly become very quotable, Danish.
I did not know that in the little moments of me being sane when I say things, people actually hold on to them. Thanks, Kush. I think that's something that I learned as well doing radio for close to 7 or 8 years, that content needs to cut across generations. And my videos, of course, people have discovered in the last 2 years. Honestly, I started doing them as well only in the last 2 years. But way before that, I did prank calls that I would upload on SoundCloud and share them on Facebook and Twitter and here and there. And a lot of people, it consumed those. And just like Kusha said, it came back on WhatsApp to me itself saying, bro, have you heard this? And I'd have to often reply saying, bro, that's me, so shut up. Right? But I think I kind of knew this is what I wanted to do because of my childhood. I went to a boarding school. I used to be the guy who'd make people laugh and, you know, do silly things even whilst we were, you know, in our rooms. And I always wanted to do this, but it's just that now it seems more tangible with numbers, right? Like you have 1 million on Instagram, you have 1 million on YouTube or whatever. I think even if I didn't have the numbers, I would still do what I'm doing right now because there's no other way or form in which I know how to exist. I just can't. I love doing what I do.
Make note of that for your next quotable quote. There's no other way or form I know how to exist. I love it.
I think what you see of Danish on Instagram, people will not believe it, but it's 1% of the collective energy that he just himself, this one body holds. I have seen Danish go on for about 3-4 hours at a stretch. And everything he says just lands. So like the first time when I met Danish, I was like, who are you? What are you? It's insane. So honestly, when I think he really, really broke onto the Instagram scene, and I think in the lockdown, everybody was like, where was this guy all this while? And I would have this knowing smile on my face. Ki ye yahi tha. He was always doing this. He's just finally decided to put it in a 1-minute format.
But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how do you continue creating content for laughs without becoming a troll of the subculture that has now become your bread and butter? You don't want to be a troll and you aren't. So how do you draw that balance?
I don't mind being a troll, to be really honest. I mean, I am punching up. I am making fun of the really privileged class, some of whom are really tone deaf. And this was one of the initial criticisms we received, that, oh my God, just stereotyping women. But then how is it receiving so much love, and how is it receiving? I know we can have the whole Kabir Singh analogy here, but that's not it. My point is again that we are just poking fun at people who are so privileged, who are sometimes so tone deaf that they don't realize themselves that they're problematic. And that was the entire point of these videos. And I think people didn't realize it was satire. People genuinely thought I was a South Delhi person. not realizing I'm not a South Delhi person, nor is Dolly. Dolly's not even from Delhi. The only reason she has this insight is because she went to like college in South Delhi. So she had that faint insight onto on these things. So I feel like if there is like an underlying message with what you're trying to do, great. Otherwise, I feel like sometimes when content is entertaining, it can be entertaining in isolation. It doesn't always have to have a social message, because then it also like borders on to virtual signaling, which I feel like is absolutely like unnecessary. So I feel like something can exist just for laughs and just for trolling. It's fine. And trust me, I've spoken to South Delhi people, they love it. They love that attention also. They love the trolling also. So yeah, a lot of our content was crowdsourced from them.
Danish, does Ramurthy Aure inspiration love it as well?
Can I come in here? Danish had made this video when Anushka and Virat had a baby. And he'd made this.
How did you get it out so quick? That's the conversation.
Hindi में बोलते कि व्यंग कसा था कि basically he completely poked fun at the entire paparazzi culture. And although I don't think he made that video with the intent to virtue signal, but I think it just happened. So in the process of making people laugh and entertaining people, which also Danish has proved that I watch all of your content and I remember very specific content of yours.
Kusha. I didn't know you watch all of it. Yeah, no, I'll tell you, for example, when Virat and Anushka had their little one, I did a video and I think I uploaded it in about 30 minutes. But before I made that video, I sent it to Virat. So imagine in 30 minutes, I've shot the video, edited the video, got an approval and then put it up. I didn't breach that code also because we were at IPL last year and I had to survive 2 months. So I thought I might as well get permission and then put it out there.
Everyone was in a bio bubble, so no one was doing much.
Yeah, so I sent it to him and he laughed and said, yeah, this is fun. Go ahead and do it. So I did it then and a lot of people picked up, whoever had to see the satire in it, got the satire in it of how the media sometimes behaves around celebrities and their children. Like, there were lines like, Taimur will be forgotten and stuff like that, right? And for those who didn't, they still saw the humor in it, laughed, and then, sort of went their own way. Yeah, but I didn't intend to make it to change media in any way. Let everybody do whatever they want. No problem. Do.
They are doing, Danish. They are doing.
Yeah.
Also nice to sometimes not infantilize your audience and let them understand and take whatever they want to. What he's talking about is also very interesting because when we were given the task of lighting candles during
I love that video. I love that video.
So there was a candle filter which I had been seeing on Snapchat. Literally, I was in Gurgaon and there were these crackers bursting and I was like, "Kyun baj rahe hain patake? Patakon ka sense kya hai abhi?" We're in a pandemic. So I became a candle and I said, अरे क्यों बजा रहे हो पता नहीं है मैं हूं ना खड़ा हो ना मैं मोम लेकर मुझे जलाओ. And it was so funny. They started playing it on news. I think Danish and my videos were playing on the news at the same time and I had abuse in that video, so they were beeping the abuse and playing and my father is calling me, is this you? There's some candle person on the news. Is this
And yeah, another way you know you've arrived is if you are on news as well, at least for that generation. But do you guys constantly have your radar up for content? Like, Danish, are you scrutinizing my Bangalore accent?
No, not at all. No. I've gone past that. I just feel like now it's very important to also live in the process. Yeah, enough. How much are you going to be a performer off camera, on camera? I look at social media right now. I see people are cramming their child in, they're cramming their pet in. Fathers there, they're like just pulling him and dancing in front of him. Mothers there, fucking shove her in. Whatever, like fucking glass case. Fucking guitar, anything. They're just cramming everything in, and I look at it and I go, live a little bit. No, just live a little bit. It's not necessary to be a performer all the time. You get tired being a performer sometimes. Yeah, I mean, there was for the longest time when brands would call me and say, hey, let's do a video together. The idea was I would be the idiot asking their boss stupid like dumb questions. Until one day I turned around and said, listen, I'm a reasonably intelligent guy who reads, who writes, who watches stuff. Can I not dumb down my intelligence to sell your stupid product? Like, people will get it. Eventually they're going to buy a product, not my stupidity. So I think I don't scrutinize everything now.
I want to come to the business aspect of this. And Danish, when we chatted a little bit earlier and Niharika was in on that chat as well, Danish was like pushing her to ask for money, like demand what is yours from brands. Was this something that you struggled with when you started off, just asking for money because you don't know how to make it tangible to what you do?
I honestly really enjoy brand deals, and it's something, I enjoy them. And I honestly look at them as challenges, because how can I do something different? I don't do run of the mill brand stuff. I don't hold a product and say buy it. I actually will think of a narrative. I'll think of a story. I'll fight with brands about integration. I have had emails written to brands that this idea will not work. I need a confirmation from you that you're okay with the idea of paying me and this video not working. So I have tried all petras that there are to try on brands, and by now I think most brands know how I work. So if there is a blatant integration, if there is something like that, I would not do it. Unless it's some iconic brand that has been a childhood favorite, then I'll probably make an exception. But I don't think we've ever made an exception for stuff like that. I would definitely bring a little bit of gender here, as in, I don't want to, but I want to also, in the sense that I think as a woman, I'm hardwired to not negotiate. So I would have problems negotiating in my jobs also when it came to negotiating salary with my bosses. And if it wasn't for the people around me who really saw the scope of me growing and improving in my negotiation skills, I don't think I would have. So I'm really blessed in that department. See, at the core of this, Sneha, this is how the business works. If you're talent and people see you rising, maybe you'll work solo for a month or so, but if you really explode onto the scene, somebody will sign you. Agencies will sign you, and you'll have somebody. For me, it was the person who created South Delhi series, Santu. He's been my partner, my mentor, my everything, my best friend. He does everything that when it comes to me. And now we don't settle for less. We refuse to. And I think most people should be like that. You know the game, you know the skin in the game, you know what you're bringing to the table. And I don't think you should be ashamed to ask for your price, for sure.
Danish?
I completely agree with Kusha on that. Even I'm a bad negotiator because for me, work is more important than the money that I make. But fortunately, I have a system in place where my manager, Natasha, she negotiates with people. Usually what happens is brands sometimes, right? They come with an idea themselves. And that idea is usually nowhere in the zone of what I'm doing right now or what I've built, or they'll carry my idea and come back to me and tell me do something like this. And I'm like, no. I will do what I want to do, because at the end of the day, people need to understand that it is influencer marketing, which means you're collaborating with me to use my strengths, not for me to use what you think my strengths are. Initially, when I started off, I think it was about, okay, fine, we'll do this also, we'll do that also, okay, no problem. But I think with time, I've realized that I need to kind of push back and turn around and tell people that, listen, I know what I'm doing, so can we please settle at a certain agreement with idea. So when brands come in, usually it's also us educating them about their own product versus them educating us. And that happens in so many cases, I've in fact gone down to tell people something as simple as you have an idea, they read the brief out, I send them a script, they don't like the script. I send them another script, they don't like the script. And this is me, and like how she has Santu, I have Vamsi. Vamps and I send them a script, they don't like it, again we send back one more, they don't like it. Then I finally tell them, listen, you want to sell a product, na? Can we just read your brief? And then I'll just say fucking buy it, and people will buy it if they want to, because I can do all the creativity in the world. If they don't want to buy it, they will still not buy it. It's a very interesting world to live and exist in, because there's brand, there's an agency in the middle,
oh my God.
There's our manager in the middle. Then they'll do a con call for one minute video, 25 people will come on that call.
But it's great insight, right? Because all we see is the haha hee hee on the million follower platform.
See, I'll tell you, it's not that difficult. I'll be honest with you, right? Please don't mistake it to be that Kusha and I are struggling and we don't have time or something like that. There's time. We go on 1-2 calls, maybe once in 3 days, we'll do 2 calls and talk to people. But I think it just goes down to the energy of convincing somebody to do something when it is good for them.
And you also brought up Santu and Vamsi, and it's not something I meant to ask, but I feel like I want to talk a little bit about what it does for a content creator to have a sounding board that understands your energy. What does it really do for you to have? Because the both of you, I know, have just popularized these people just by virtue of how close they are and in sync they are with what you do.
No, I'll tell you, see, Sneha, first things first, I think this whole idea of being self-made is extremely overrated.
100%.
Nobody is self-made, okay? Somebody else has to put their neck on the line. Somebody has to put their job on the line to give you your opportunity. And I've always acknowledged that right from the beginning of my career, that I'm not self-made. I'm a result of people believing in my own belief. My Vamsi, I'll speak for. He's incredible. And, he used to be the marketing head of a company. So there is a certain element of, intelligence. There's a certain, element of understanding business in general when we get on a brand call together or when we make a video together. There's an understanding of life. Right. And what really helps having somebody like him around is it makes work faster. See, the speed at which we're turning out things, right? You will create a block at some point. But working with someone like this, it just makes this process much easier. The idea is we grow together, not just financially, but I mean, generally in our careers as well, right? Like, for example, we've now ended up making a film called One Cut, Two Cut, which Vamsi and I wrote together, and he's directed and I'm acting in it. So I think that, we're on a journey which is a lot greater and bigger to say that we want to tell stories eventually. So I think having Vamsi around is very blessed. That's good.
And what does Santu do for you?
Same. I don't think I would have been what I am today if it wasn't for him. I was 28 when I started making videos, and I was already 7 years into corporate world, and I had a very clear career path set out for me. So for me to just one day randomly stand in front of a camera and for somebody behind the camera to say, oh, listen, something's going on with you, and hello, something's there. And I was like, what are you saying? I decided to actually not do videos again because I was like, oh my God, it's too much and I can't, and the hate online and the comments online, it's not for me. But I absolutely agree with Danish. We actually are a product of everyone's who's believed in us, and it's also our privilege, our education, the opportunities we got, the universities we went to, the experiences we've had. The reason why Danish can do so many characters today, because I'm sure he's met these people, and he's met these people as a part of his life and as a part of his growing up. And I would say that your parents, your siblings, and your friends, everybody has a contribution into the kind of content you're making today. I personally believe this. So I absolutely agree with Danish there. What we are like 120 odd people here. If somebody today was to, and a lot of people are funny. A lot of people can make content. They just don't have people around them enabling them. Today, if I were to pick randomly one person here who has decent talent and can go on and just do something with their life experiences, they can make it.
Yeah.
My best friend is so funny. He's so funny. He has no idea. He doesn't know he's funny. All of my one-liners, I think I've stolen from him. So I'm actually, he constitutes a big part of my comedy, but I don't think he has an idea about it. There's this random line I use, which is, मैं ना DLF के बिल्डर को जानती हूँ, मेरा बस चले ना, मैं ना रोडों पे लोगों को थप्पड़ मारते हुए जाऊँ. This is a line I have heard all my life from he's from North Delhi, Rohini, and he said this all his life. He's picked that line from other three boys. So the way comedy travels, it's just amazing. It's just beautiful.
For these guys, a lot of whom are possibly aspiring content creators, what is the most misunderstood thing about your job?
I'll make a viral video. I think that's the most that's the biggest myth. If anybody ever tells you I'll make a viral video, run in the other direction, because that person has no idea what he or she is saying. Because nobody knows how to make a viral video. We're all just trying. We're all trying. Nobody
There's a person who kind of did this for like how many days straight in lockdown? Like even you thought ki it won't happen the next day. Like
1.5 years straight. 1.5 years straight, he's made viral content.
Yeah. No. See, I'll tell you, it's about waking up one morning and just trying to do a video and figuring it out. That's all. You put it out there. If it goes viral, it goes viral. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's as simple as that. I think that's one myth. The second myth is that, if we share it, it'll go viral. If it has to get picked up, it'll get picked up. I assure you it will. Like, I get messages every single day from people saying,
share this.
Not obviously in English, saying that you have a fan following, so why don't you share it? And I'm like, bro, if it has to go viral, it'll go viral. I don't have to share it, because I've never gone and asked somebody to share my video. It's organically been shared.
Also, I feel Danish's content is so regional and so true to where it's from.
Microculture.
Committed. Yeah. And it's so like local, and it has almost like colloquial language, where some of the people who might understand the language might not still understand some slangs. That's where I think he absolutely killed it, because nobody was doing that. And even if they were doing that, there were not many players doing that. So when there is a real, I feel like, vacancy for very targeted content, it is always going to work. So I saw somebody doing Marwadi Boys, which is such a specific content bracket and branch, but I was there for it. I was like, wow, this is such an insightful thing, because you have pockets in the northeast where Marwadis live, and you have some place in north, some place down south, so you're like catering to very different people across the country, which was, I think, very, very cool. One of the misunderstandings, I feel, writing is at the core of this job. I just want people to know this. My notes are filled. My voice notes are filled with ideas. Anytime I see something, I am just like, and then I just do that. It's not like that, oh, today I have to make content. Oh, what should I make? I don't work like that. I'll have some idea. I'll keep that idea will brew in my mind for like weeks.
Wow.
For example, I had to make it does. No, but for longer sketches, Danish, I made a mental health video where I played every single person of my family. So for that,
I remember that. I've seen that.
Yeah. So for that video, I didn't want it to be written. So for a week, every single day, I would act like different people of my family and just start talking while like I'm shitting, while eating, while doing something. I would just talk like my mom. And then on the day when I had to shoot it, I just did 7 minutes of improv of each character. And then I just put it together on edit. Because when I'm making original content, I don't let anyone touch it. I know exactly how it is in my head with the edit also. So I feel like everybody has a process. Find your process. What is your process? Do you like to write? Do you like to record notes? I know comics actually store their ideas by recording voice notes. This is what I found out recently. So figure out your process. You need to have a process. It's not that easy. You don't think that, oh, this is a relatable idea, I'll make it, it'll work. No, you'll need to have an edge. You'll need to have some sort of writing prowess there.
2 days ago, I put out a video about that guy who always says, let's go to Goa.
So funny.
I recorded that literally in that duration of the video. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm not doing enough homework after listening to Kusha now. Maybe
No, but you're right. But that idea required that kind of work,
correct. But Kusha, correct. For a longer one, if you ask me how we end up making a series or a film, then obviously it's a lot longer. But it's a very difficult question to answer when you ask what are the challenges. It's a little, even some 3 challenges I gave are not really challenges, I feel. I don't know. Just look, if your work becomes what you do becomes a pressure, then you're not enjoying what you do, then don't do it. And don't do it for money, because I eventually money will come, followers will come, all of that stuff will come. Like if you just look at my own social media use for the last 1.5 years, bearing one picture of Anya and me at our wedding, or one picture of her on Valentine's Day, I think I put her, and that was she was cleaning marble or something like that. I don't put up anything that's personal. I just don't put up, because I've realized that people around me are not props.
Kusha, you talk to me about this.
You know,
Zoravar wasn't comfortable creating content, and you can't expect him to do what you do.
Oh yeah, you know, I'll give you an example, right? There was a watch brand that reached out to me for during Rakhi, Raksha Bandhan, and they said, can you just put a childhood picture of you and your sister and recreate that same picture to current form? I said, see, you know, my sister, it's my sister. It's not a prop, you know, that I can just use and you know, make money and not give. Why will I use my sister like that? It just makes some sense, no? You know, so then they said, okay, fine, we'll come back to you, and they never came back. And I've realized that in general, how I use social media, understand the tool you're using. If you're going to become a content creator, eventually, what is the idea? See, the idea of this call is to understand the business of content creation.
Yeah.
Don't let the tool use you, you use the tool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, these are places where I put out content to generate views, shares, and hence the eventual idea is brands will come back to me. I've understood that. So I use it that way. I'll never let the tool use me to compel me to put something out there. The moment I'm compelled to put a video, I'm compelled to put a picture, then I'm under stress all the fucking time. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I don't have an idea. I haven't put a video out there. What do people forget me? Thinking of it at the top of my mind, I think there's a huge difference between presence and relevance. If you're doing something for presence, you're going to burn yourself out. You will burn yourself out and you will not feel good about it. But the moment you do it with relevance, you know, if your content is relevant for that time, if it's relevant to people who understand it, it's very different. Then it's content that people share, people, you know, spread with their family, friends, and so on and so forth.
I feel like a great example of what Danish said is like when you, for example, you get a brand deal, okay? So a good way to work around that is instead of thinking of content piece to fit the brand, make a compelling content piece and then seamlessly fit the brand if you have to. Think of your content first before integration. Your content people should still get a story. Some people should still be entertained while you're trying to sell them a product. I think if you do that, and I do that, and I know like it's a lot of work and I don't know why I do it, but that's the only way I can like sleep at night. And that's the only way I can convince myself that, okay, fine, if I'm doing a brand deal, this makes sense. So just create your content first and then think of how you like seamlessly integrate. Have a fantastic idea and then somewhere in the line you'll find a way to integrate. If you're a smart writer, you'll find a way to integrate it.
You get really popular for a particular type of humor. Does it get alienating? Like Danish, will people not have you go all Punjabi on them? Or like Kusha, do you do a really good South Indian accent that we've not heard?
I don't know. I think it's in the zone of the video. I think if you don't leave the zone, then they're okay. I have played a Punjabi person with a extremely offensive potato on my head, which I look back right now and I'm like, geez, what was I doing, right? My apologies to anybody who's offended already. I've done it on radio as well, and I feel like people will take it so long as it's in the zone of what you're doing. It is very difficult to break out of it. I do understand where your question is coming from, but I think it's basically you got to experiment with it till people can, sort of either completely discard you or completely accept that particular character you do. Because see, I've done 3 films. All 3 films I've done have been characters who were once on social media and then became films.
Right. Creating a universe, clearly, like slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's a lot easier enough for me, but then waiting for somebody to come to me with the script because nobody comes. So then I do my own stuff and then I go the other way around. So I think that people are willing to give you a chance, yeah. But you need to take the chance. Again, Sneha, do you enjoy doing it? If you do it, people will like it or don't like it is a different story. Let's be honest, you started doing this because you were having fun. The day it becomes about log kya kahenge, then it loses purpose of why you're doing something.
Yeah, this is a big takeaway for me, like a big red flag. If you stop enjoying it, then I guess you got to rethink some stuff.
Yeah. I feel like before you convince your audience, you have to convince yourself.
Yeah.
Are you convinced by what you're doing? I once did a South Bombay accent. Hey, what you're doing? Like I did all of that. I made a video and it was received really well. But I didn't enjoy it. I didn't want to do it again. So I didn't do it again because I was like, I have no lived experiences. Now I'm in Bombay for the last like 1 or 2 years. I keep going back and forth. Now maybe I can. That time it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like true.
You know, the both of you have been quite vocal about anxiety, burnout, and like I said, there could be a bunch of aspiring content creators here. Is there something, a big learning that you could perhaps save the rest of us from?
No, I feel like you'll make mistakes. You'll say something stupid online and people will come for you, and you need to know in that moment that you need to apologize and make things better.
Yeah.
I feel learning, right? Apologize. Do it.
100% apologize. See, the point is you only make things worse if you defend something which is absolutely ridiculously wrong. So I think the first thing you need to understand is you will make mistakes because you're human. And if you're existing in your regular life and your offline life, do you not make mistakes? You do make mistakes. So when you're outputting so much, when you're making so much content, and sometimes it might come from a well-intentioned place, but it hurts some people. So take accountability, say you're sorry, and come back, realize, reflect, learn, come back and do better. There is nothing wrong in making mistakes, but it is wrong to not take accountability and apologize. It's impossible to not make mistakes when it's not a 100-meter race, it's a marathon. You have to exist for what, like 10-20 years. That's my goal. You ask me today, I want to exist in this area and in this field in some form or the other for maybe a decade or so. So yes, I'm going to make mistakes and I'm going to take accountability. So yeah.
Danish, is it to live a little more? Is that a big learning for you?
It is. In the process of making content, don't become content yourself. Just take it easy a little bit. It's okay. Like relax. It's fine to kind of just enjoy a little holiday with your family, or watch TV a little bit. It's perfectly okay to do things and be happy. It's very important. Otherwise, I look, I'll tell you, this place can get exhausting sometimes. It can get extremely exhausting sometimes. And it's very important to know when you want to draw the line and say, okay, I just can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I need a break. And let it be. It's okay if you don't do videos for 2-3 weeks. It's okay. Nothing will happen. Nobody will forget you. Nobody will, not come back to seeing your stuff. They'll all come back. It'll all be fine. The audience is there. And also understand that it's at the end of the day, the audience watches your stuff. You put content out there. That's all the transaction is. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. Today, if I don't put content out there, they'll watch Kusha. If Kusha doesn't put content, they'll watch Dolly. If they don't like Dolly, they'll go to some other content creator. The point is they'll keep moving. They keep fluctuating. They keep moving. We got to stick to what we have to do. And I think the other, the other thing that I see is, on Instagram, till yesterday it was 1-minute videos. Then it became 15-second videos. Then they say 30-second videos. Then 45-second videos. Then 1-minute videos. Then catch this trend. That person's dancing. You also dance on the road. Do what you're comfortable doing.
100%.
Just because some guy is dancing on the road, you also don't have to go dance on the road and, go nuts. Relax. Do what you're good at, because you're a content creator. You're not somebody who's following the flock. You're rather like from the front saying, hey, this could be something nice. So stay real, stay original, stay what's true to yourself.
Let the dancers dance, let the singers sing.
It's very difficult to do that also, and they do it beautifully. Everybody doesn't have to do that, no?
That's what, no, I can't do, babe. I can't. It can't happen. I've tried it. I've tried it on the mirror. I made a fool out of myself and I can't do it. I am a writer. I'm going to stick to writing. And Danish is absolutely right. don't make content for 10 days if you can't. I didn't make any content in the second wave because I could not. I was in the pits. I was possibly in the worst mental state of my
But
entire
in Delhi
life.
when it was burning then,
Yes, I lost a family member. It was terrible. We were amplifying online. It was a terrible, terrible time. You can't possibly make content that time. So yeah, I didn't make content. And right now also, to understand algo and all, I didn't. So one day I just decided I'm not going to follow trends, nothing doing, no dancing, no following trends. I am just doing writing backed content. I think of an idea, I write it, I perform it, and that's about it.
No, and also see, Sneha, one thing that we need to acknowledge is there are people who do that also and succeed. Right? And that's very important to acknowledge that.
Sure.
If that fits you, you do that. But it is definitely one thing to understand that it's not one size fits all. It's not. You know, some might fit you, some might fit me, some might fit her. But at the end of the day, we're all just waking up every morning trying. You know, we're just trying. Simple.
I'm going to open it up for questions. I have the order here. Shikhar Bharadwaj.
Hi everybody. So I just wanted to talk to Kusha. Kusha, I just want to say I love your content. You're just so funny. And I also want to give a special mention to Monday Auntie. Like, she's the best. I love her. So my question is, Kusha, like you went to Ria's party, you went to a show with Karan or Janvi. So how does your family react to it? So are they like the typical North Indian parents who are like showing off that, you know, Kusha went there? Or are they like telling you, don't take this to your head? Or how are they reacting to it?
My parents never discuss shop with me except for my dad because he helps me with my finances. But I will tell you what happened yesterday. My mom was over, and while I'm shooting, she comes and I'm doing a rant, and she's telling me, "ये funny नहीं है अभी इतना, अभी इसमें और कुछ करो और डालो, अभी ना मजा नहीं आ रहा है. मेरे को भी पता है, मैं भी देखती हूँ आपका कंटेंट, ऐसा क्या है, इसमें अभी कुछ फनी नहीं है." Then she came out, she wore a wig of mine, came out and said, मैं भी कंटेंट बना सकती हूँ, बट मैं तेरे को कंपटीशन नहीं देना चाहती. So my mom it's my ultimate critic. All people around me are like hardcore critics. They don't discuss. They're unfazed by all of this. They're only invested in me, what I make, my content, my followers, how many followers I've gained, lost, all of that they see. Rest, no questions. I don't think they're starstruck people at all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Shikhar, for all the compliments. Yeah.
Priyam, do you have your question?
How do you draw the line between what is edgy and what might be offensive to people? And how do you try to maintain to not cross it at times?
Priyam, I love your question. In fact, I was sitting yesterday discussing this very same point with this gentleman called Ajit Rammood, who heads the video business for Royal Challengers Bangalore. And I play a character called Mr. Nags, and I'm currently in Dubai. And we create content during IPL. And we were having this exact same conversation, and I actually gave credit to him because, see, I'll tell you what happens, right? As content creators and artists, we can guise anything under artistic liberty and say anything. Then it goes down to the custodians of a brand to turn around and safeguard the interest of A, what the brand is, B, what their communication is, or what their longer vision is. So sometimes when we go overboard, they tend to pull us back. But when it comes to our own content, again, we have our own checks and balances in place. Like Kusha said, she has Santu, or she has Zorawar. I have Vamsi. I have my wife Anya. It goes through a couple of places before it actually meets you. So I feel like with brands, it's very important to have good custodians around.
You literally, your entire asset online is based off how people react to your content. Right. If people's reaction to your content is hurt, then what will you do? You can't fight people and their sentiments, and you have to take that in account. So yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Let's get Arshia in.
My question is to both of you guys, Danish and Kusha. So because you guys, let's say you've gained a lot of followers in the past 2 years Okay. So have you ever felt obligated to post content for the larger audience that you have now as compared to when you were posting, just the regular content and you did not have this, this scale of audience?
If I don't enjoy something, I don't do it. Period. That's it. There's no reason to cater to people because they're in huge numbers. It doesn't mean you have to keep, you don't have to be an artist all the time. You don't have to create content all the time. I feel like, in fact, now with the number of followers, my content is also reduced. Kusha, I don't think you put a video out every day. I think once in 3 days, once in 4 days now.
Yeah. I take my time. I write. I think of delivery. All of
In
that.
fact, when you don't have followers, you have to do it more regularly. I feel like you need to keep stay at it, just stay at it. And I did that through lockdown last year. Every day there was a video, and I think now it's slowed down a little bit because even I feel like you can have a creative block, you can have a burnout very soon if you keep doing this every single day.
Thank you for being part of the front row community. Both of you, thank you for being so generous with your time. Really, really means a lot to us. And to everyone who tuned in, a big, big thank you. I hope you guys had a good session.